So, here we are.
Here we are.
In the wake of the completion of the greatest story ever told.
The greatest mecha anime to ever be conceived.
Yes. We all want to climb up inside our mothers.
Wait,
Or what our mother has crafted for us, rather.
Okay, this is just getting worse. I thought I was like, you know what, this is as bad as it can get. You're just like, I just made it 10 times worse.
Right? On this episode, we terrorize our inner child.
We commit war crimes for the sake of revenge.
We learn to love our dad. On this episode of You Don't Love Giant Robots, we're talking the meatiest of giant robots. We're talking Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan. Shingeki no Kyojin.
God, do they Shingeki those Kyojins. They really do.
This has truly been my Attack on Titan. I love that. That's my favorite line from the show.
But, yeah, so Attack on Titan concluded.
Was it about a month ago?
Get it while it's hot.
2 months ago, actually.
I don't know, man. I don't put a time schedule on this thing.
It's been 2 months since it ended, as of now.
But, you know, now that it's done.
Wait, before we start this, Happy New Year. First podcast of the new year.
Time doesn't exist on this show.
Oh, sorry. We actually live in a medium between time and space. So
to hell with these people.
It has always been the new year.
People aren't here for holidays. They're here for anime and anger.
Okay.
And rage.
All right.
Maybe. I don't know what the fuck people. But the point is, Attack on Titan bursted into our hearts.
11 years ago.
Yeah.
Actually, no, more than that, because the manga came out in 2012.
Attack on Titan told us it was wearing a condom, and it wasn't, and it busted up into our hearts all those years ago.
Hold on.
But you know what? He sent us $500 over Venmo and said, I hope this is enough to cover it. So when we first started watching this show, I don't know about you, but I wasn't a day one. I was like an episode. I think I came in on like episode 12.
So I came in on episode 3. Because I was at the time, because like Crunchyroll used to be way better because there wasn't really any ads.
Crunchyroll's never been good.
Hold on. Okay, because before it was like you just couldn't watch the newest episodes until like the episode after. So I joined it about episode 3, and I was watching on Crunchyroll because they would have like all the most popular anime at the time there, like at the top, and you could just see it. So I was like, there's a lot of anime I was like watching as it was coming out, like Sword Art Online. Akame Get Kill, that was a good one too. But yeah, Attack on Titan, I will say I was a day one. I can emphatically say because I remember how the fans used to act when season 1 came out. It was bad.
Yeah, I got into it because of the cosplay scene. Honestly, I just kept seeing so many people with the big, bulky, fat, chunky suits at like cons and stuff.
ODM gear.
And I was just like, what the hell? And there was like one dude who had like a really legit set of ODM gear. And I remember like everyone at this one con thought he was like the coolest motherfucker.
He probably was.
He like walked into it was like the costume contest was going on. Everyone was there dressed as like, you know, sexy Yoshi from
Sexy Yoshi?
Sexy Yoshi.
I don't think I remember that DLC.
Everyone was sexy Sora making out with Riku. Sora, Riku, and Roxas in like a polycule where they're all like getting down with each other.
What remix was this? Was this 2.9 remix? Is that
this
what that was?
369 over 2 boys.
What?
But
I'm not gonna let that go. That was crazy. Y'all need to. That was crazy.
But it was, and then this guy walked in with his like homemade ODM gear, and like One Winged Angel started playing, and everyone knew that they were like the costume. The
costume. It's over.
We're cooked. It's fucking
and
done.
And they won. They gave him the trophy as he was walking up.
Yeah, that's Duel of the Fates from Star Wars. I hate my life.
That was your introduction to Attack on Titan, was like cosplay scene.
Yeah, and I like look at it and I see people swinging around.
You were like what, 86 when this show came out?
I was a wee boy just approaching my 50s.
Because I think when this show came out, I think I was like just entering into high school. No, it was the year before I went to high school.
I was just moving to Florida after screwing my life up the second time.
Dang, you only get about 3 of those. So.
No, I pulled it together after the 4th one, But yeah, so I started watching this show, and I'm like, I like swinging around. I like shonen. This was a summer of shonen too. This was like My Hero Academia was like
no, that was a few
not
years
out
later.
yet.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think here. What was hot on everyone's breath?
Naruto was reaching
concluding.
Yeah, well, it was getting into the war arc. Like they were entering into the war arc.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, it was the 5 Shinobi War that kicked me out of Naruto.
Well, because
I was a day one.
Because there was filler every it was like I was watching it as it was coming out. It was torture because you never knew what week it would be like actual lore and it'd be something you didn't care about.
Because I was a Naruto day one. I was a ride or die from the jump.
You
watching
were
Japanese.
Hard.
Not the American dub. I was watching Japanese fan dubs that I was pulling down over MIRC in like 2002 type shit.
So I think 2013. Sword Art Online. I think
Sword Art. There was definitely some Sword Art going on.
Oh, Fairy Tail.
Never got into Fairy Tail. Never clicked with me. Was never a Black Clover guy
until like season 3, and then I kind of clocked out.
Is 7 Deadly Sins in this area?
No, 7 Deadly Sins was a little after.
Oh,
I'm surprised you don't remember this,
dude. You know it like. Anime went from linear to logarithmic, and then it's just like after Gurren Lagann, it all became like a blur. Like it all became after like
you know what?
It's just like so much coming out.
Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood was wrapping up around this time.
It was wrapping up?
Well, I think it wrapped up the previous year, like 2012.
Okay. All right.
I'll give you a good timeline. What else was going on? What else was going on? The president was black.
Right. Mitt Romney had a binder full of women.
I remember that.
That was crazy.
It's still crazy.
That's such a low-level controversy now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, compared to what's going on now, that's like, oh yeah, every politician.
Such an innocent time. Ferguson, Missouri was like around the corner, so you know. Ferguson and Me Too didn't happen yet, so it was it was the last gasp of like people being like
themselves
unspeakably terrible.
Nah.
Before it was like,
look, here's the thing.
Wait.
I think that point in time is like the only point in time when the internet was still the internet, and then it just started going crazy. Like there's people who just say stuff just to be controversial, or there's people who think everything's controversial, and it's kind of like nobody's really genuine on the internet anymore. It's kind of.
Yeah, Google was instilling Sundar Pichai as CEO.
Oh my gosh,
everything was going to shit.
You could actually upload videos to YouTube without getting demonetized.
Was Balmer out at my? Balmer wasn't out at my. This was right around when Nokia was getting like really fucked in the ass, like really turned inside out.
iPhone was really like iPhone was ruled the world.
Well,
I remember because the iPhone 7 came out.
No, man, I could get into this, but it was that Google purposefully fumbled Android on 2 separate occasions. Once because they were afraid that Samsung was going to pull out because they bought Motorola and they were like, we're about to turn Motorola into like a fucking juggernaut. We're going to turn it into like an iPhone competitor. And then Samsung was like, you better not.
You know what I just realized?
You better not. And
you know
so
what
Google
I just realized?
fucked that thing in the ass.
I don't know what this has to do with Attack on Titan. We literally went from Attack on Titan to like the state of the world in 2012.
I hate Sundar Pichai, and I got to get this out. And then the second one was when Sundar Pichai became CEO of Google, and he was from the Chrome team, the Chrome OS team, and he specifically hated the fact that Android was starting to get put on laptops and shit. And he canceled all that shit. The Android team got hollowed out. A lot of those people left. Some of them went to Xiaomi. Some of them went to like Le, and it was stupid. I'm still mad about it. But anyway, Attack on Titan, we're watching it, and it seems like a normal, regular, degular shonen. At the time, we did not know what we had on our hands.
Well, because I think most people thought it was a shonen until like season 2.
You see that episode title of season 1 and you're like, to you in 2,000 years.
What the heck does that mean? And now,
whatever.
Looking at that, there's so much like foreshadowing in like every episode name. And
yeah, like, but at the time you're just like smoking crack with your friends.
Oh, this is amazing.
Hitting the bulb.
Giant dudes just roaming around, killing people.
Is there an eyeball
slicing
in that
things up?
wall? Did my eyes deceive me, or is there an eyeball in that wall?
I think there was. Yeah. So it's I think outtakes from season 1 was. It's like, imagine a picture of a horse that gets more detailed as time goes on. Right? Like the first part of the horse, it's pretty good, pretty detailed. The second part of the horse. Here. Okay. Everybody knows the meme. But it was truly interesting seeing how much Attack on Titan resonated with people off of like season 1, right? And even after season 1 came out, it took like several years for season 2 to come out. I think like 2 years, and it was tough because we didn't even think we were getting to season 2. But Attack on Titan, I think first watch, I freaking loved it. I freaking loved that thing. I was hooked for every episode.
Yeah, I liked it at first. What's funny is I liked the idea. I remember distinctly thinking, I thought like Mikasa and Levi are cool, but they're about as cool as like, there's always like that standoffish quiet guy who's like the Piccolo or whatever, where it's like, well, he's cool because he's not around all the time. If he was around all the time, you wouldn't think.
I think Levi was kind of around all the time. He just was kind of quiet.
Yeah. But I remember actually distinctly hating Armin and Eren. Because Eren, season 1 of Attack on Titan has so much yelling in it.
Yeah, that nigga Eren was like dragging it. But wait, Nick.
Please tell me my son's death was not in vain, and he's like, your son's death meant nothing.
But Nick. Oh, you're talking about
there's like exactly everyone is just.
I know exactly. Because that was episode 1. That was episode 1. Because he's like, then my son, like literally like 6 minutes in, nigga screaming at the top of his lungs like, your son was useless. This nigga was what? I'm like, dang, bro. Like that's crazy.
It was
episode 1.
The Titan bit into his belly so hard we saw him shit his pants. And you're just like, why would you tell a grieving woman this stuff? Why would you?
You gotta tell him the truth. I'd say the same thing. Nah, he a real nigga for that.
Just lie about it.
Nah, he a real nigga for that. I'd say the same thing. I'd be like, yeah, your son got cooked.
He
First
killed
5 seconds around there.
Titans.
Nigga's head was off, bro. Nah, I'm telling the truth. I'd be like, yeah, this nigga was trash, bro. He wasn't even top 600. No, but I think the yelling part is interesting in Eren's character specifically because you realize how much of that character of his that didn't actually change, and he even reconciles with this at the end of the show, right? Where it's like, I'm just a really stupid dude who got all this power. Like, you truly start to understand he did not change all that much from season 1 to now. The change that he had was an act.
Yeah, I will say, to not get too heavy into the spoilers, it is funny that there's a consistent theme amongst anime, with the exception of, a show out there. Let's call it Password Duck.
Huh? Password Duck.
Yeah. Let me think here. Steganographic Mallard. But there's like one anime out there that proposes that.
What is he talking about?
I think I'm doing a great job.
I think you're doing a horrible job. These words are too exorbitant.
Encrypted waterfowl.
Code Geass?
Jeez, Zeke.
Oh my gosh.
God.
Oh.
God.
I just realized I right over my head.
We might have to cut
right
all
over
this.
my head.
But there's one anime out there that proposes that one man can have a positive effect on the world. But for the most part, a lot of anime, spoilers for Death Note, you fucking children. But
that show
who
came
the
out
hell
almost
do
20
you
years
think
ago.
you are listening to this podcast having not finished Death Note?
Well, I mean, it literally came out almost 20 years ago now. So you've had a literal lifetime to catch up.
But, Death Note leans into the idea that, you can't, no one man can have all that power. And
no one man can have all that power.
The
clock's ticking. I can't count the hours.
And it tries to even stress, with Light Yagami. It's like Light's not a normal kid. He's literally, he's smarter than you. He's smarter than everyone. He's, smarter than the president. He's literally maybe the smartest person on Earth. And he can't juggle these balls correctly, bro. Even the biggest brain on Earth, he can't, keep this fucking thing going.
So,
I
would
Eren
say...
very explicitly is I'm just a normal guy in terms of intelligence.
Yeah. He just got blessed with all his power. I mean, it is interesting to see the effect that people think they have versus what they act. Because there is one show, the Mallard show you were talking about, that is one person kind of affected everything. There are more shows like that in different aspects if you really look for it. My Hero has a similar character, right? In the foils of both Deku and All Might, especially in the later seasons. But it is very interesting to see Aaron's character in season 1 and how naive he is.
He's a whiny little baby bitch.
Well, even the part where Levi's squad just got completely just clobbered, just throated by the freaking female Titan, right? And he's like, man, should I activate this power that's like the only thing that can stop this thing, or should I keep watching these niggas die? And then eventually he's like, you know what, yeah, I'm going to activate this power. But I think the interesting part is Levi left that decision up to him. He's like, I'm suggesting against this, but you can do whatever you want. And it's funny because as soon as he did that, I think he got his butt whooped.
Yeah, the characters, I would say season 1, the characters do not carry the show. For some people, they might.
Well, okay, so what
did it? Was that it for you?
So it was a mix, right?
Because season 1 for me, I was 100% bought in on how cryptic the mystery was.
Well, yeah,
it was so weird because like the mystery was so like blasé. It was like nonchalant. It was like, yeah, the Titans have been here for like 100 years, and everyone's
and it's like
yeah.
questions
you
had. And so
when they eat us, they get full, and then they vomit us up, and it's like what? It's like
so
all this.
I do think that the mystery aspect did contribute a lot to the intrigue of the show, right? And the more I think about it since you said it, because I didn't really think about it until you said something, I'm like, Because the other reason why I like the show specifically was like, there's all these questions I had. And it's like, yeah, so there was a post-apocalyptic thing that happened. Titans attacked the entire world, and now we're the last people on Earth. I'm like, well, how do you know that for sure? You haven't even been like across the whole Earth.
Oh no,
years, supposedly.
I 100% bought everything in the title crawl. It's like we're the last humans on Earth. I was like, okay, like I didn't fucking.
I just had questions. I'm like, well, how far out have people explored? Like, what's
and
the extent?
They were like, these Titans came out of nowhere. And I was like, okay. And it's interesting. They almost bait and switched me because there's so much like, there's like a scene in season 1 where Aaron sees like a bird getting eaten by like another bird or something. And he's like, the strong eat the weak. The strong consume the weak. And there's like all this talk about like before the Titans, man was like an apex predator.
And then you realize it wasn't. It was the Titans the whole time.
Well, I just thought that they were playing up this angle that like, oh, the Titans came from Earth to like drive back man or something. Like the Titans were like a natural
predator,
like bacterial response that Earth had to humanity's like excesses.
So, and going back to your point, right? Of all the things that you see in season 1, there's so many things in season 1 you don't really think are important that like in the future you're like, oh crap, this is like deathly important. Like this is so pertinent to the plot, you're not even gonna notice it until like 4 seasons later. Like the whole thing about, remember the general from the training camp that sabotaged Aaron's gear?
Yeah,
and like you're like, why would he do like it? It doesn't even explain it in season 1. You're kind of like, why did he do that? That doesn't make any sense. Then you fast forward season 4, this nigga was in love with Aaron's mom. Turns out Aaron looks just like his mom. Nigga was like, I don't want to see him die. And it's like but you don't get that context until later on. Where you're like, something that seems unimportant actually drives directly into the plot of the entire show. There's a lot of that in season 1 if you really pay attention and you go into the other seasons with that foreknowledge.
Yeah, for me though, it's like I just love that. Like, I felt like the show had so many disparate threads that it was so easy for everyone to think like in their own little weird way. They're like, I've figured this shit out.
And that is
like you were like, I've got Isayama's fucking number. I think it's like the Titans come from like the center of the earth because humanity was getting big for its britches, and we were the apex predator, and Earth saw that we weren't going to evolve a new one anytime soon, so it just made, like, everyone I know had like a theory that they were like completely confident behind.
Well, it's so funny because like it doesn't matter what theory that you put out or what like theory for the ending you had, nobody was right. Nobody was right about any of it. Like the things that he intertwined together and the plot points that kind of connected to explain the Titans. There was a few things people kind of guess, but it's like nobody's like theory was completely correct at all.
If the Game of Thrones and the Lost online forums have taught me anything, it's like I bet one motherfucker called it. Like in a weird way.
It's probably like one person that has like 2 views on their post.
Because we know that, I don't know if you ever watched Lost, but it's like a well-known thing. That
I know what happens at the end, though.
The last season of Lost was radically like affected. Its trajectory was like completely changed, basically, because around season 2, some guy posted in an online forum. He was like, I think I got Joss Whedon's fucking number. I think I know what's going on here. And a guy laid out a random guess at what he thought the final season of Lost was going to be, and he nailed it. And it's like a known thing that the writers' room of Lost got like super, super fucking angry when that. Same with George R.R. Martin. There's people. George R.R. Martin has openly said that he's like, I have read a fan fiction that was essentially the end of Game of Thrones. Like, he's like, I will be completely upfront about this. Like, at some point, I think like before the TV show even existed, he was like, I've read a fanfic online that is basically how I'm going to end the books. And I have to like never address it or talk about it, and I have to try not to think about it. But
that's gotta suck though.
Yeah, I think Isayama got the benefit of getting a second bite at the apple on this one. I think, you get to put out the manga, and then you get to see the problems with that. Same with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. They get to do like a second pass. They get to like do some cleanup. Put the bow and arrows on the back of the wall in the office that Dio's on the phone, and to imply that he's always had the bow and arrow type shit. And I do think like. And yeah, if you want to spend your whole last season like tying up loose ends, you can do some of the stuff he's doing here, but you can clearly see that the episode title is the biggest giveaway, that it's like
he's had the ending in mind for a long time.
So many parts of this story clocked like years ahead of time.
Well, so apparently, if you look at some of the endings from season 1 to season 2, they're just the end of the show. They're literally just the end of the show. Like, if you pay attention to certain things, it literally is just the end of the show. And it's kind of crazy because he helped directly with like all the songs that they made for the endings. A lot of the opening songs he helped the writers.
Oh, you mean the outro?
Yeah, sorry.
I thought you meant like the final episode.
No.
I was like, wait, what? Huh?
Okay, yeah, sorry. No, so the outros for the animes, there's literally like 2 or 3 of them in season 1. That's just the end of the show.
Yeah, the one where it's the children singing, where it's like, huh?
And it literally shows like all the colossal titans just destroying things, and I'm like,
you see the birth of Ymir and everything in there,
season
and that is like it's bonkers. It's very funny. Isayama played a very, very good trick on us.
Well, he made you he had so many different important things inside of his show that even the unimportant things you didn't think about, then you look back and you're like, oh crap, wait a minute. This is actually pretty important.
Is there also like, is this like the what is it? The Sixth Sense for anime? Like, is this the first like mass like gotcha? Because like after M. Night Shyamalan did The Sixth Sense, everyone has been looking for the twist in every movie.
When did The Sixth Sense come out?
2001 or so. But it's like ever since the like, oh, his psychic is also a ghost, and he's been dead the whole time. The little boy's dead, and also his psychic is dead. He's a ghost. Like, ever since that twist, I'm not joking, it's like everyone has been dialed in to the idea that there is a twist coming. M. Night Shyamalan permanently molested everyone in America.
I don't know, because that came out before I could even form words, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, you grew up literally in a post-twist world where you inherently probably look for twists.
So were you guys just like watching movies and you could just tell what the end was going to be, and that was it?
Yeah, I mean, you didn't get blindsided by, like, you didn't expect it as often. Now it's like anytime I see a movie and it's like, and then the robots started a war with the humans, I'm like, the humans started the war. Every fucking time. God damn it. Every time they say the robots started a war with the humans, it's always the twist that the humans started the war and lied about it.
You know what's crazy, Nick?
I know what you're going to say.
The movie we talked about earlier.
Yeah, I know. There's a certain
as soon as it said that in the movie, I was like, that's interesting.
But yeah, he fucked with everyone's head, and now I feel like because Steins Gate didn't do this to us.
I've never seen Steins Gate, so I gotta watch it.
Well, but it's like it didn't make everyone constantly like, I'm on edge now. When I watch a new anime, I'm like, is this some time travel fucking story where Like, the main character's actually his own grandpa type shit. Like, what's going on here? Now I'm on edge like that, and I will be probably till the day I die.
Because of Steins Gate?
No, because of Attack on Titan now.
Yeah. Or you think Attack on Titan had the M. Night Shyamalan effect, huh?
Yeah, I think this might have been that for anime fans, where it's like now we're permanently in a state of heightened awareness, where we're looking to see if we're getting fucked with.
Well, because like every little thing was important. Like even now to when going back, because there's so much in the show. There's so much in the show that interconnects with everything. Even back to when Eren was struggling with his ODM gear, when he's sitting there like trying to figure out what's going on, you see steam coming off of his head.
I guess.
No, you literally, like, in the scene, and even in the manga, there's steam coming off of his head because he's healing.
And there's that scene where he pulls a burrito out the microwave, and it doesn't burn his hand at all.
No, but there's a lot of stuff, like, and it's things you wouldn't think were important, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is like, so I think you have a point where, like, now every time somebody watches a new anime, they're going to be hyper aware of every little detail.
Right? They're going to fucking cinema sins it. It's going to be so annoying. Jesus Christ. Isayama might have ruined shit for everyone in the same way M. Night did. Because it's not M. Night's fault.
So look.
It's not his fault.
Whenever stuff like this happens, I always like to see like the positive, right? Because you could say Isayama ruined everything. Isayama made anime like, oh, there's always going to be a twist. But then you could like have like the simple anime that are just good. Just cause, like, off of a straight linear story that makes sense and is cohesive with no like twist. Like, it doesn't have to have twists. There could be a little bit of twist.
I see Baki get into the ring, and I'm like, Baki's about to beat this guy, and that's totally fine.
Well, yeah, but then
that's A-okay.
Then you have anime like Mushoku Tensei or like Frieren, which is like they're just pretty straightforward, but they're good. They're really good. They do good.
I
at what
haven't watched
they're doing.
Frieren because the fans have been insufferable.
They have.
They're this show's gonna fucking it's gonna dethrone Brotherhood from the top of my anime list.
I don't think so at this current juncture. I think how they portray the magic system is pretty solid, but I'm not saying it's dethroning Brotherhood anytime soon.
I don't get how after Promised Neverland Season 2, I don't get how anyone can ever make any of these judgment calls.
Well, because even the anime original ending for Fullmetal Alchemist wasn't bad. That's the thing. Like,
especially post Game of Thrones, I was ready to call Attack on Titan garbage all the way up to the last episode. No. Like, I was ready because I was like, I've been shanked in the past unexpectedly, where I was like, no way you can do me like this. There's no way.
I think Attack on Titan is probably one of the only anime aside from Brotherhood that I will emphatically say on the show it's a 10. It's a 10. Story's a 10. Characters a 10.
It's a perfect adaptation. They had a whole script. They had the whole completed thing.
There were some things added, but
it's the best adaptation we've ever gotten, even better than Brotherhood.
Isayama had like direct control of like a lot of the stuff that they added.
This is ideally this. It's either this or
Jujutsu Kaisen's a really good adaptation. I will say that.
Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen's. I mean, I'd say a better Demon Slayer. It's only worth watching the anime. It's not even.
That's pretty accurate. The manga is like rough. It's especially towards the end. You're kind of like, what the heck? Who drew this? Yeah.
I'm going to, for the sake of safety, I'm going to restart the camera. I'm going to restart this camera to make sure that nothing bad happens.
All right.
All right, there we go. And another. All right. So, yeah, and then there's, let me think here, what's another adaptation that's fucking carry? I mean, My Hero Academia, I've said it before on previous episodes, but that anime was the anime that, like, fucking figured out the 12-month production. Like, this is how you work on an anime throughout the year, and people don't want to put a gun in their mouth and pull the trigger. Like, people can
Naruto
kiss their family. I don't know what the fuck's going on inside Studio Pierrot. That is the most inconsistent studio.
What do they make?
Naruto and Boruto. That's like all they make. Dang. They are the most inconsistent studio working. No, I've never seen.
Which studio? Which studio will pick up projects to drop them like 6 months later? Like, oh, we don't have time for this project.
I'm saying if you take a bad episode of Naruto, it looks like a fucking flash animation on Newgrounds.com. And then you take a good episode of Naruto, and it's hanging up there with Demon Slayer, and you're just like, these are the same guys?
Well, you could,
these are the same fucking guys?
Before the Egghead Island arc, you could say the same thing about One Piece.
One Piece has always been, like, all over the place. Like, One Piece, I didn't think One Piece's animation was even kind of good until, like, the 200s, 300s.
Well, yeah, I think,
it's literally nothing to write home about.
Post Water 7, it got okay.
It's weird. It's hard to gauge One Piece, too, because One Piece started in 4x3. It wasn't even 16x10. Yeah, like, it's been through so many arcs of what would be. Because in the 90s, all you needed to be a good anime was have flowing hair. It was like, look at this motherfucker flex, and look at the mustache on that guy. Type shit.
Going back and forth in the wind.
And then we got, Studio Trigger and everyone up
Studio
the game.
Bones. Bro.
Bones, Madhouse, Trigger. Everything went crazy. But even, like, the crazy fight scenes from, like, mid-Zero's anime, it's, like, scenes that are, like, 5 seconds long, like a really cool 10-second sequence, a really cool 5-second sequence. Then you get to like Attack on Titan, where fucking Mikasa carving through the city, killing you. You're like, this is like a 3-minute shut the fuck up sequence.
Levi escaping from the military police.
That's not this season.
Oh, it's not my fault.
Zeke,
my fault.
Come on.
I might get fired today, yo.
But we do have Attack on Titan with the 3D rendered cityscape.
That I thought was pretty cool, and I thought the integration with the 3D rendering and the 2D stuff was actually really cool. Yeah. A lot of anime does not know how to do it.
It started off cheap, People were like, "Land of the Lustrous, oh my Beastars, how am I gonna jerk off to this?" Oh,
what? Who was saying that?
Everyone who watches Beastars is horny. What are you talking about?
I watch Beastars.
And
what? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? It was a good show.
We're Beastars is horny as fuck, dude.
Did you know that
they call a 3-foot tall rabbit a slut?
You know the person who made Beastars is actually the daughter of the nigga who made Baki.
Yeah, sexy.
They're both horny.
We're all horny.
Hold on, not we.
Yujiro.
He's speaking. Yujiro was crazy. Hold on.
You cannot hold him off. Yujiro's coming for that kiss,
bro.
You're getting smooched.
Not
pal.
even that. The scene where he's talking to Baki about his girl, he's like, every day when you wake up, when you go to sleep, before you eat. You never saw that scene?
Is that after he kills his mom?
Oh, no. Well, yeah, it is after he kills his mom, but it's like season 2 on Netflix. Pretty sure.
I don't know. I didn't originally watch Baki on Netflix, so it's hard for me to tell.
Yeah, the original Baki, bro. This nigga Yujiro is a demon for no reason. For no reason. How Jack Hama was born was a crazy story. Okay, we're getting off topic, but this nigga Yujiro was yeah. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
Niggas who know.
We're horny people. I'm telling you.
No, not that. Not that.
We're back to schlicking it to Beastars.
No. So the animation and the integration of 3D rendering along with 2D animation was amazing in Attack on Titan for the time.
It's dope. It's fun. It's new. It's fresh. Mikasa was best girl, kind of irreproachably this year. 2013, I'm saying. I don't know who could have dethroned her as best girl.
2013, Rem? Wait, was that? No. I think Rem. I'm pretty sure ReZero was coming out this time.
Well,
or
I'm a ReZero hater, so...
You're a ReZero hater?
Listen, Subaru sucks, and I'm not going to watch 8 episodes to figure out why I like some guy. I live a busy, hard life, man.
Yeah, being old is pretty hard. Look, I think that ReZero, along with Jabba's reincarnation, are two of the best isekai I've ever seen in my life. And I guess one wouldn't really count because it's more of a reincarnation, but they are both really amazing.
Yeah, no, best isekai is Digimon, bro.
Nigga.
And everyone know it.
Nigga just said Look, Digimon is a great show.
Best song.
That's pushing it.
Best games.
That's
best series.
That's pushing it too. Hold on. All that is pushing it. Hold on.
Best interpretation of a digital buddy.
I'll give you that.
I wish my dog was a Digimon. She could like digivolve and I could ride her places and shit. Be dope.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Attack on Titan animation was good. Mikasa was best girl because I remember I was in the thick of it, Nick. I was in the battlefield. I was on the Reddit boards. I was on the Tumblr blogs. Niggas were going crazy for Attack on Titan, and it was cringy. I felt ashamed telling niggas I was a fan of Attack on Titan. I'm so for real. You think I'm joking, Nick? I was in the trenches. It was horrible because Attack on Titan niggas were acting so like you know how the My Hero people are acting on the internet. That was all the Attack on Titan fans, all of them. All of them.
It's the harem anime fans for me, where they all act like they're like the quintessential quintuplets is the best thing this season, and I'm like, I just don't get what you guys are on. I don't get what crack you're smoking, and I want it.
I think it depends.
I'll smoke the crack, but I don't get what's going on.
I think it depends on the harem anime. I think it depends.
But then it's so funny how much I thought this was going to be a normal shonen all the way up until Eren lost his legs.
Oh, yeah. That was kind of a pendulum shift because, like, you didn't see him for, like, what, 4 or 5 episodes after that?
Something like it was...
You literally saw a flashback from this nigga Armin, which in anime, if you see a nigga have a flashback, yeah, he gone. He cooked.
Yeah.
It's over.
I thought I was so ready. And you know what? From the last time I got, I was so ready after watching Gurren Lagann, and we will not talk about what it is in Gurren Lagann, but let's just say that I was ready. I was like, episode 9, we're switching main characters. Okay. I suppose that's always something you can do. Yeah. I didn't think... that's...
Gurren Lagann really did change the game when it did that.
Gurren Lagann tricks your ass hard, but...
It puts you through a loop. Episode 7 is the best.
But I thought we were dealing with something like that. And then when that hand comes out of the mouth of that Titan, and all of the implications of that we'll eventually learn... It's insane that we literally eventually learn why every single Titan in the city was exactly where it was this day.
Ooh.
Everyone.
Ooh.
Which is crazy.
Foreshadowing.
It's fucking bizarre. But that was the moment it's like, this show's not what we expect. And then it turns into a mech show, which I was not expecting.
Well, I think the most interesting part is you don't even understand that Eren is the Titan in the Titan that's fighting all these Titans until like 4 episodes after that Titan appears. Like that Titan appears and he's just fighting niggas and you're just like, you're in your head, they're like, this nigga saved Mikasa. I love this nigga. He's going crazy, right? You're like, I don't know what's going on. He's just fighting niggas. All of a sudden, after the fighting is over, everybody escapes, and they use that Titan to kind of like defeat the other Titans. You see this nigga Eren appear out of nowhere. You're like, what just happened? What just happened? Where did the nigga come from? I thought he was dead.
Yeah, when I saw the black hair, I thought it was Eren. I was like, they can't resist.
This nigga was M.
They
Night
can't
Shyamalan.
resist making the Titans sexy.
This nigga was M. Night Shyamalan, bro.
And then there's also the weird focus on jujitsu. Like, all the jujitsu moves in the first season are, like, legit jujitsu moves.
Yeah.
And that's kind of never really, like, that's such a, like, Isayama's just, like, into jujitsu or some shit. I don't know.
Well,
but, like, because it's not really ever expounded upon. But, like, I was watching this show with a guy who's, like, an MMA fighter the first couple seasons. And he was always just like, that's, like, a real Kimura or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I guess. Like, this
nigga, oh, I can't say it. Can't say it. Somebody gets put in an armbar later on in the show, and it's actually a pretty good one. I'm like, it's yeah. I mean, I think the attention to detail in general is expounded upon in points like that, even down to little plot points like the conversation that Reiner, Bertolt, and Annie have, right? When who walks up? Jean walks up. In the middle of them having this conversation.
Is that season 1 or 2?
Season 1.
Oh, shit.
And you don't get any context to what this conversation is about until 3 seasons later.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there, you're like, I wonder what they were talking about. Then you see the nigga Marco dead. You're like, man, crazy. Yeah.
It's so good, man. It's such a bait. It's so good about like
the bait and switch.
You're so caught up in this like tiny little world that these people are in. They do such a good job of keeping you at like ground level with everything. Like you are left you're like, what the fuck's going on inside those inner walls?
You don't know.
Like you're like, what's
Nick,
inside Wall Cena?
Nick, and then they're
like,
at the end of season 1, you see an eye popping out the wall. This nigga's like, cover that up immediately. You're like, just happened? What is that? What are you talking about? Was he cover what up? It's.
I just mean, like, you never really get to see the inner city, even. You get to only see, like, the shit the kids know. You're like, what does I see what the inside of Wall Cena looks like, but what does the inside of Wall Rose look like?
You get to see that.
Like, 3 seasons later for, like, 5 minutes.
Whenever they're meeting at the Capitol with Pixis, season 1.
You get to see the inside of a courtroom.
No, you see, like, the outside of, like, the manor where they're talking to the king.
Okay.
Got to pay more attention.
Listen, man, there's a lot going on.
There is a lot going on. I know there's a lot of stuff that's easy. There's a lot of stuff I missed until recently in Attack on Titan. That's pretty crazy. But season 1 altogether, I would probably say I'd rate it, without knowing what I know now, 7 out of 10. With knowing what I know now, 10.
For me, it's a binary. It's just watch it, you asshole. Like, at this point, you can't understand. 10 years from now, you won't understand where anime is at right now. This is breached containment. This is like Evangelion or up to the Vegeta arc of Dragon Ball, where it's like you should watch this just so that you can understand the shit talking that's going on. Like, it's like you're literally not with it if you're...
Yeah,
it's like, only like 60 episodes plus like 2 movies or something, or it's like 72 epesodes and 2 movies.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not the biggest investment for like one of the best stories.
The part about it that I like the most, and we're gonna get a lot of crap for this. I'm telling you now, before I even say this comment, we're gonna get a lot of crap. I don't care. I've seen it. I've watched One Piece. Okay, I think that I like this show more than One Piece because it is able to have complex story points and interconnecting storylines that all come to a head without having to last for like 23 years. Okay?
Yeah,
but so my one thing, right? We don't know how good the story is yet because it's not over.
I know. One Piece is like the...
If it's bad, this nigga's ruined forever.
It's like trying to look at both sides of the .NET kernel at the same... You're just like, we aren't like qualified to judge One Piece. Like,
I don't care.
No human's mind is able to like capture all of One Piece at once. It's like you need to judge One Piece with like a committee of scholars.
So my thing about One Piece is it's so... The things that you can call back to Attack on Titan that interconnect into the story, why they're important, and what makes them important, it's not a crazy thing to do. In order to do that with One Piece, you would have to be so locked into One Piece. You would have to go down like 1,000 plus episodes of information, be like, oh yeah, this connects to this thing over here. And like, there probably is a lot of stuff that connects into One Piece. I just don't. I think it's too long to be able to know what connects to what at this point in time. I think it's been going on for so long that if you were gonna remember stuff from like season 1 that connects back to what's going on now, or to like 7 seasons before, like after,
Buggy the Clown shows up, bro.
It'd be
he comes back. He comes back, bro.
But you get what I'm saying, where it's like you would have to be paying so much attention all the time for such a long time. It's not feasible for anybody to actually understand what connects in One Piece or not. And so I don't know if the point is to connect everything. I don't know what the point of One Piece is until it ends.
It's at this point, it is like if Oda is going to put a bow around the whole of the earth and just like wrap it all up, you know, we're rapidly approaching. 1 second. We're approaching. The thing about AOT at this point is you couldn't make. No anime that's currently running has the capacity, I think, to be AOT level. Just because to make something as complicated as Attack on Titan, you clearly have to have been considering making something like that from the very beginning and have to have considered that for a very... Like, Attack on Titan, this might be one of the most story-driven... Because I don't even feel like this is necessarily... It's character-driven in that Eren and Zeke are very, like, unique, archetypical representations of, like, philosophical concepts or whatever.
Well, so is Grisha.
Yeah, like it's a character driven, but I've like this show is like to me 95% story driven, and I can't think of another show. I don't even think you could morph a show into like One Piece is character driven. One Piece, you're there for the Straw Hats, you're there for Luffy, you're there for the brotherhood and the camaraderie and the feeling like you're on the boat with them or
camaraderie.
I don't know what the fuck One Piece fans watch it for, honestly. But
maybe it's Nami.
And like you watch JoJo's for the vibe. JoJo is the vibe check of all.
I think people who try to look too far, like there are some deep things in JoJo, but JoJo's just for like just a fun time.
It's like, but then the Schnauzer pulled out a pistol and shot the vampire in the back of the head.
This
nigga
just pulls
like,
out
yeah.
This nigga pulls out 2 Tommy guns in the middle of a restaurant and just starts going ham.
Hell yeah. Hell fucking yeah.
So yeah, it might maybe I just don't understand it.
So it's like I the next thing that tries to usurp this,
it better be good.
We're about to get hit with a wave of try-hard bullshit. I gotta say, because some guys are going, some guys in Japan right now, I'm gonna write the next Attack on Titan, and they're gonna we're about to see a wave of anime that come and they put the most complex, most like obsequious and nested fucking.
It's akin to it's akin to whenever people will say things or use words to try to seem more intelligent than they are. It's just very vapid.
Have you seen the last Christopher Nolan movie, Tenet?
No.
Okay, there's this time travel movie called Primer, where it's all about these 3 guys accidentally invent a time machine, and then it's like, oh, so it's a time machine. Like if you hang out around the time machine and you set it back, if you turn the time machine on for 2 hours, you go back in time 2 hours. Type shit. So it's like in order to go back in time a month, you have to turn it on for a month. So by necessity, you would have to be like in a shipping container or something. You have to be away from people for like a month so it can create the time field around you. And there's like a bunch of stuff that happens in Primer, but the point is, whenever I watch something like whenever you watch like Inception or you watch Tenet, it's very much like, it feels like Christopher Nolan watched Primer, got very pissed off that like someone beat him to that idea.
I mean, Inception is literally like a rip of Paprika.
Yeah, it's like, it feels like Christopher Nolan got angry that someone beat him to this idea, so he's like, I've got to do it bigger. Got to do it way fucking bigger.
You think the same is going to happen with the whole Attack on Titan thing and like interconnecting stories that you have to think about years before they're finished?
I think there's some fucking guys in Japan cooking up something that's going to require you to like fucking solve a Rubik's Cube to make heads or tails of, and it's going to be like, what really caused the Cabaneri was, hold up now, break out your organic chemistry book, because
all right, let's start doing the matrix math for this particular part of the story.
Do you you just said it right there, dude. There's gonna be a fucking anime that brings tensor transformer architecture into the actually what it was the main character, you saw him when he was in this variant state.
You know what? No.
But it's a non-stochastic
Nick,
integral path through
we need an anime about game development that's accurate. Where they explain every function and you literally see them and watch them actually program. We need that. That's the next one. That's the next Attack on Titan.
What we need is a stochastic path integral through the low level the hidden Markov processes, so that we can ascend the Kardashev scale.
We need to make sure that we make sure we construct the vertex and pixel shader right in high-level shader language.
Yes. Yeah. You know, this is where sci-fi is going. I've been reading a lot of hard sci-fi lately, and it's like some of the best sci-fi is all written by like physicists and like chemical engineers and mechanical engineers. Like the 3 Body Problem series is written by a fucking microchip engineer out of Japan or out of China, and it's like, yeah, this is where it's going. Anime used to be the refuse of the nerds, and now it's becoming technology. But then Big Bang Theory made people all get into like the entry level technology. Like I wear horn-rimmed glasses and say Bazinga. But like,
is that what happened?
Excelsior. Yeah.
I think I missed that whole cultural moment because I was like like 9, 13 when that show came out, and I was not watching it.
Yeah, you were born post like the I fucking love science. It's fucking science.
Well, don't get me wrong. I also loved science when I was younger, but not because of Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, but do you remember those accounts like I fucking love science?
I do remember seeing those shirts, the hipsters with the I effing love science shirts on, with the glasses and like the really long hair.
Yeah, they're like, oh, Curiosity rover's going to Mars.
So look, here's the thing.
They get
Here's
like
the
whiz
thing.
bang
they
about
They
it.
get like a really weird hard on for Elon Musk.
Elon Musk is doing super cool shit.
He is doing super cool stuff, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, it was when we went Curiosity to Mars. There was like a lot of people who were like, I'm into astronomy. You know, I do a little bit of astrophysics at home in my free time.
I didn't really understand the whole bit. Like I watched it recently, like last year, right? The whole thing, but I didn't really understand what was going on with it because I was so young. But I saw the effects. Like, I saw people that were like, yeah, I'm kind of a nerd. You know, I've watched the new Dark Knight trilogy movie. Like, what, dude? Like, it's...
I tell people that the Iron Man movie was a 9/11 level
for
event because it's like at your local comic book shop, you would go in and it was like, oh, a bunch of new faces here. And it's like, well... New Sin City movie just came out. New 300 movie just came out.
The Marvel Cinematic Universe,
and then you were like,
was like
oh,
a
well,
Nexus
you know,
event.
yeah, they're all here because Scott Pilgrim did pretty well. And then it was when Iron Man happened, it was like, oh, these people are here to stay.
Crap.
And it's not necessarily an issue. It's that Marvel fans are the worst comic book fans. And I mean that, like, if you read comic books, Marvel... Like, because DC, in the paper form, DC is obviously better than Marvel.
Well, I think story-wise, they have been for a while. Marvel's starting to kind of catch up a little bit, but they're a little too late.
Marvel sucks their characters' dicks. They don't know how to... Wolverine, Spider-Man...
So one character, I feel like Spider-Man, they don't. I don't think they do Spider-Man. I think every other character is very debatable. Spider-Man, Nigga got his body stolen for, like 400 chapters.
That was weird. Yeah, Doc Ock raping Mary Jane, maybe? Question mark? I don't know. That was weird, dude.
That was weird.
Superior Spider-Man was an odd run, but
I will say, like, because as someone who's read a good amount of both, I probably read more DC, honestly, but I do think DC has more convincing stories.
DC's got...
Their stories are darker.
Marvel crossover events piss me off. Whereas
You didn't like Batclaw?
DC crossover events, like, oh, dude, X-Men versus Avengers sucked, and I hated it. I hated it so much. I hated Secret Invasion. I liked the beginning of Civil War, but I hated how Civil War ended.
What about Civil War 2?
I'm not
With
there
Ulysses?
for it. I'm not even there for it.
Really?
I'm not even reading it. No, I've been out of Marvel since fucking the Five Lights, Hope Summer shit. I was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm
do you ever
out.
You ever see the Marvel heroes, how they redid the... I forget what they were called, but they like made some really weird characters. There was like one called Safe Space. There's another one.
Nope.
It was weird. It was weird. They were trying to remake like a Titan team that existed in the 80s, and it was just very poorly received.
Yeah, man. Marvel fucking... The comic books. I was a Vertigo Press Wildstorm Image Comics guy myself.
My dad was the same way. He loved Wildstorm. He loved Wildcats, too.
Yeah, fucking dope shit. You got The Authority? Are you kidding me? Garth Ennis, Warren Ellis, fucking Mark Millar when he's not being a cunt.
I think that indie comics are starting to really come to the forefront because people are getting tired of these like lazy stories that are just hopping off the coattails of the MCU. So they're trying to make the most like, ooh, what would an MCU fan like to see in a comic book? Like, dude, what about comic book fans?
Indies are already commoditized. You got Invincible, you got The Boys.
Yeah, but those are good.
You got Preacher. They're gonna make like a fucking Irredeemable show, I think.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Nick, right? The difference is they're not doing it purely for money. Like they're not gonna the comic book writers aren't gonna change their story to acclimate to the people who are watching the shows.
Seth Rogen's doing it because he doesn't know how to write, and it's a lot. It's cash on the table. Bless his heart. Honestly, it's kind of stupid that The Boys was just sitting there for like a decade plus.
Did we ever talk about a conclusion for Attack on Titan?
I mean, Attack on Titan's great.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was thinking about it. I'm like, wait, what were we talking about before?
I can't even remember. I mean, it's great. Finish the we were talking about, you were rating it, and I just said watch the show. It's anime history at this point, you fucking chuckle fucks.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Like it's the best thing of this decade. The 2010s will be remembered as the decade of Attack on Titan, and no one, even if you don't like the show, you can't fucking change that, dweebs.
It's the same thing with
Demon Slayer and AOT own this decade.
Hold on. Flag on the play.
I don't even
flag on the play.
I don't even like Demon Slayer.
On the play, nigga. Listen, I love Demon Slayer, but being completely honest, non-biased, completely honest, because I don't really even like it that much. My Hero has it. My Hero has it over Demon Slayer.
Oh yeah.
My Hero has it over Demon Slayer. As much as I don't know. I'm too far down the hole. To me, it's like My Hero kicks the piss out of Deku versus Tanjiro. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? It's actually Tanjiro.
But for the normies, for the guys who are like, yo, give me a fucking
anime recommendation.
Give me a water-breathing wheel sword swing on. Put that rap on my Camaro, bro. I'm saying I don't know if
My Hero's doing it for him.
I don't know. Demon Slayer. The thing about Demon Slayer is when that Mugen Train movie broke through with the normies, I didn't see that coming at all.
I did.
That caught me off guard.
Because I have a lot of friends that are normies, and that's why I kind of know what is like probably gonna be talked about among like normal people. I'm saying My Hero. I'm saying My Hero for sure. It's easier to get into.
I guess. I mean, it's definitely the better show, but I don't know. I feel like I've seen so many girls when I went to college who had like Demon Slayer stickers on their cars and shit.
You see just as many with My Hero stickers.
I don't know. I see dudes in the occasional Sword Art Online shirt, even almost maybe more than I see My Hero, but. I don't know.
I've never seen a nigga in a Sword Art Online shirt. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I used to work at the mall.
Oh well, yeah, that's probably why.
I worked at the FYE when Sword Art Online came out.
So that
it was bad.
I can imagine. My sister used to work at FYE like a year and a half ago, and she told me some stories about some of the anime fans coming in. I was like, man,
no, I worked at FYE like 12 years ago.
Jeez, dude.
Yeah, I mean it's 2023, bro.
It's 2024.
We're only throwing it back a few, but yeah, I don't know, man. Comic books suck now. They don't suck.
So I think that the amount you get that are good is very small, and even like the part that pisses me off the most, the head chick in charge of Marvel Comics, right? She was like, this was like 4 years ago. She was like, if you don't like our comic books, don't buy them. Comic book sales suck now. And like 4 years later, I think like last year, she had an interview where she's like, yeah, it's really hard to sell comic books. I don't know why it's not resonating with the fans. And we're all just looking at this like, bro, nigga, like what are you talking about?
I heard they're trying to reboot the X-Men series now that Disney owns like all the licenses, and they're either torn between doing a hard reboot of the original team, and I'm like, oh boy,
in movie form or in comic book form?
In movie form, and I'm like, oh, that's what we need is another Scott, Jean, Iceman, Wolverine, like Professor X, Maggie.
Only one
I was like, I don't need any. I was like, there's like hundreds of X-Men, hundreds. I don't need to see like maybe put Cyclops in there because he's never really gotten his. You know?
Yeah.
Give Cyclops his.
I'd say Cyclops and Gambit.
But beyond Cyclops, it's like, I don't need Wolverine or Jean Grey or Magneto to appear, or Storm, really. I don't need these people to appear in this movie
but
for even a millisecond.
But, Nick, they are the X-Men, though.
There's a lot of X-Men.
You could do like an X-Force show. That would be cool.
There's so many X-Men, dude. Give me like fucking Shadowcat and Psylocke and fucking Gambit and give me Domino and Hotshot.
They actually had Domino.
Give me Sunfire and Sunspot. Give me fucking Darwin.
But Nick, they had Darwin in the movie. What you got to remember is, right, these are big companies that only care about money. So they're like, what's characters that could make us a lot of money that have the most brand recognition?
And I've heard the other plan is they're either going to do the original X-Team, or they're going to do like a reboot of X-Men using a lot of the contemporary female characters.
Did you see the Marvels?
No.
Good for you. So at the end of the movie, they actually have a post-credit scene that actually shows the X-Men.
And is it? Yeah, I've heard they're gonna do an all-female X-Men movie next, and I'm like,
I wonder how that's gonna go.
Who wants? What is It's like what's going on? Like it's like we're in a bad psyop. It's like they're trying. It's like a bunch of people drinking. It's like fish-flavored soda, and everyone around us is drinking it and like looking at us and being like, it tastes great.
Well,
it tastes fine.
Well, then you see they're trying to change.
Some.
They're trying to change the sex of the Silver Surfer too.
What is going on?
Like, look, I'm gonna be honest.
Like,
I have
what?
no,
Like, legitimately, what is the deal?
I have no issue with like female characters. I don't care, but like, just make a story about a female character in the Marvel universe. There's a bunch of them that are really dope. Domino.
No, you
Great
stupid
character.
fucking businessmen. The fact is, 13-year-old girls don't care about this type of shit. They don't care about it like the way dumb boys do. And it's like, you're not gonna... 13-year-old girls aren't gonna start in mass picking up sticks, going wee, and beating the shit out of each other till they're bloody and busted up with broken lips and maybe like permanent eye damage. Like, it's so weird. It's such a bizarre move to be like, we gotta get like... I don't even care. I love that though. Like, I don't care what women do with like their own properties or even. But I'm like, this isn't even like one for the fellas. It's just like, this is statistically just a property that's been like 90% boys, like, for the longest time.
I think that's going on with a lot of different nerd things. Like even the whole Star Wars thing. Did you hear about that?
It's like trying to get girls into NASCAR or something.
It's like here's the thing.
What are you doing?
They're trying to appeal to like 10% maybe of the people who are watching these things. And it's like, look, I don't have any problem if like you want to have representation. That's cool. That's what's up. But if you're trying to placate to a percentage population of a fan base that really doesn't have that much market share, you're gonna fail.
You made Miss Marvel's power that she shoots lasers rather than she's like stretchy because it's less sexy. Like,
really?
It's basically like, what? Why did they change everyone's powers?
They said they changed Miss Marvel's powers because they didn't want anybody thinking she was Mr. Fantastic.
She's not. They're different fucking people. It's so annoying. I don't know, man. It all sucks, but I'm past it. This is why I'm like, I'm out of it. And honestly, I'm completely ready for the next cultural like touchstone of mine to get pillaged. I just drop them at this point. I don't even care.
So here's the thing. I don't drop them because I know what's going to happen. It's par for the course. The people who aren't actually fans are eventually going to stop watching, stop caring, and we'll still be there.
They're gonna make Green Lantern Corps, and they're gonna make John
Who's
Stewart.
Asking for? Okay,
they're gonna make John Stewart like he's gonna like have 3 boyfriends or something, and you're gonna be like, you could. What's going on here? And it's like, I don't even care about like the agenda or something, but it's like all the changes that they make. I guess it's sort of like when I'm watching Castlevania, all the changes that they make always feels like someone in the writer's room was like trying to convince a girl to fuck him. Like, it's always like, there's some like white dude who was talking to like some Chinese girl, and then she asked, are there any Chinese people in your movie? And then he was like, actually James Bond is a Chinese woman in this one. And then he went back to his producer and he's like, hey man, so we gotta I was talking some big game last night. It always feels like that.
Well, so here's the thing, right? Because that's because it feels disingenuous. And anytime you want to call it out for being disingenuous, people will label you as like sexist or racist. It's like, no, I don't care if this nigga is gay, but if you're making him gay just because and not because it's like printed in the story, I'm gonna look at you like you're stupid.
There's like a genre of media at this point that's like white male writers trying to have sex with black women.
Was it Dear White People?
Oh, hold up. All right, there we go. But yeah, there's like a whole genre of film, of like media that's like a white director trying to like have sex with a black woman.
Well, I think
by convincing her that like he's
not racist. but it's true though, because it's always like always some white dude writing this stuff. Do you ever see the What If Miles Morales comic book that came out?
Oh, where it was like
they made that nigga Thor, bro. Oh my gosh! I swear.
They were like,
you know who wrote it? No, because you know who wrote it.
Love
it
Miles
was a white dude.
The coloreds love Miles Morales.
Bro, and this nigga had Miles. This nigga had him wearing Tim's in Asgard. I'm like, what? How does that make any sense? Like Nick, I'm so serious. I think it'd be less racist if somebody came in and just called me the hard R instead of doing that. I'm so serious. Like, if someone called me the hard R or wrote that comic book, the person who called me the hard R is less racist. I don't care because that pissed me off so much. I'm still mad about it. It was like a year ago. I'm pissed.
Miles Morales. Tired, Miles Morales being like, did you hear what Anthony Fantano gave the new Kendrick album?
Bro, He went because they had him in Thor, and they had him like speaking like he was from New York. I'm like, hold on, bro. This is Asgard. Like you could have just left the character the same, just changed the like. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. This dude was definitely trying to have sex with a black chick. I'm sorry. It was so wild.
In the same way there's like a genre of media that's like white dude trying to hook up with black. There's also a genre of media where it's like at some point in the early 2000s, there was like it was like racism math crunched out that the central point of all races was like a woman who might be half Asian or might be half Hispanic. You can't really tell. You know what I'm talking about?
She's just racially ambiguous enough for you not to know what she is.
They were like, let's put Zoe Saldana in the role, but then like let's give her character a name like let me think here.
Chloe.
Like Lou Smith or something, and no one will address what she is. Like it's like she could be is she Hispanic? Is she like Portuguese? Is she from the Philippines? Like
nobody knows.
And it was just like always like an ambiguously brown woman, and it was always like Hollywood like did math, and they were like if you add like a black woman, a white guy,
white sounding name,
like yeah, and it was like and you add like an Asian male and a Hispanic female together, you get this like weird like Meghan Markle looking like middle ground woman. And they were like, we need to make this like we need to make Tessa Thompson types like the like absolute peak of like we need to put this in all of our movies so that people know that we're like on the right team.
Well,
what team is that? Who knows?
So here's the thing, right? Because there's a difference with like a character's race getting changed for happenstance, like if they find a better actor and somebody just doing it to do it. Like I think the Batman movie is probably the best example, right? Both the characters that played both Jim Gordon and oh my goodness, how did I forget Catwoman's name? What's her face?
Selena Kyle. It was
Selena Kyle.
Yeah,
they were both black, but the reason that he chose that was like, well, I thought they were the best actors for the role, not because he was trying to like seem not racist. The nigga was just like, they're just good at the job. That's it.
Yeah, Zoe Kravitz in that role is weird though, because she comes up to Batman like. I can't remember how it all goes down, but it's like she finds out her best friend just got killed, and she like takes a swig of like room temperature milk or something, and then she like hits.
Wait, hold on. What did you just wait? What did you just say?
Then she like hits.
Wait, hold
Batman.
on. Room temperature what?
She like drinks some milk, and she's like,
I thought you said milk. I was like, what?
It's like room temp, and then she's like, my friend's dead, and I'm so horny for you, Batman. Like,
okay, hold on. Look, if you read any Batman comic books, you know as well as I know. That's kind of a little comic accurate. It's kind of comic accurate. It is weird. I'm not gonna say it's not weird
for that. If I want to see a bat fuck a cat, I'll pop on some Beastars, bro. Am I right?
No, but I do think there is a difference between like it happening just because and someone doing it to try to gain points with like a certain race or a certain sex of people, and it's like. Dude, just write a good story, bro.
It's black scientist syndrome when they would always make a scientist and things in the 90s. They'd always make like this. They'd always make the scientist black because they'd be like, technically, the smartest guy in this whole fucking movie is black. And it's like,
even though
you
he
did
dies
that so that
first.
you could say that, but not actually give him lines. It's like the black dude scientist in Interstellar. He's got like 6 lines in the whole movie, and it's like, I get it. You're there for like representation or whatever. You know, fucking
yeah.
This is them throwing us a bone. Oh, actually, I made the smartest guy in the movie a black dude, and because he's the smartest, he speaks in the few.
You know
he
what?
says the most in the fewest words.
You know what movie? You know what movie kind of reminds me of this concept? What was it? The League of Negro Magicians or something like that?
Oh, the League of Magical Negroes,
bro. Listen, have you
movie.
seen the trailer for this movie, bro?
I won't even. Might as well watch a minstrel show.
That's exactly what it feels like. Like I'm like, it feels like a white person trying to write a black person, and they're failing horrendously. I'm like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I hate. Because I personally do hate the black people who draw like a hard line between black and white people.
Yeah.
Where they're like, white people never. You know what I hate about like there's like a category person who just like sits around complaining about white people all the time, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
It's very uniquely annoying, and that's what I feel like this whole.
It feels like
doing.
Only unsuccessful people do it. Like only people who ain't gotta go. Like, oh, you know why my rap career never took off is all those white guys at Interscope kept me from fucking. And you're just like, okay,
I don't know, dude.
I don't know, man.
Maybe you just suck. Maybe you're just bad at it. Yeah, and it's definitely annoying for sure because it's like they're making dogmatic statements about groups of people that don't even track logically, right? Like there's no group of people that act the exact same. That would make zero sense. Just like all black people don't act the same, all white people probably don't act the same. As it's not par for the course. And like the opening line of the movie, like of the trailer at least, was like, black people are always doing things to make white people seem more comfortable. I'm like, what the heck are these niggas talking about? This doesn't make any sense. And it's just like, I would probably much rather watch a minstrel show than this movie. I'm not even gonna lie to you because it just seems like such a cop out, and it's and I know for a fact when it comes out and people hate it, they're just gonna be like, yeah, you're just racist. And it's like, no, movie sucks. Movie's trash. Okay, I don't care. It's just a bad movie. Like I think when you compare it to movies like Get Out was funny, but it was also like a good movie, right? Like it didn't rest on the laurels of just the fact that it's like it's a black person in the main role, or it's like kind of talking about people being kind of racist. It was just a good movie, and it happened to have those plot points in it. So I think it's definitely interesting, but in a bad way.
Battery died again.
Man.
Yeah, I don't know if it managed to retain at that time, but you know what? I'm hoping it did.
We could probably end it in a second. We've been talking for a bit.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's our what's the word? We're standing on top of something. Soapbox. That's our soapbox.
yeah, anime's over. Comic books suck, but Attack on Titan's good.
That's the gist of the episode. That's it.
That's all I can offer to you.
That's all we got. Well, until next time. What are we talking about next time? What's it gonna be? News? Gonna be?
Well, you'll find out when you come here.
If you don't have your giant robot firmly placed in your garage with the keys directly outside of the giant robots, do you love your giant robot?
You know, people say they love their giant robot, but they love the giant robot all the way up until the minute it's born, and then it's throw it out into the world. No support, no help, just fending for its own.
Yeah, brother, tell him.
So if you really love giant robots, you'd love the giant robots before and after the factory squirts them out.
Hold on. What?
Yeah.
Is that where they come from?
Yep. I hope. Otherwise, I need some answers.
I thought a stork brought the giant robot to the house.
Yar. Even. But anyway, this has been the show. Catch you.